We have now got the land of Vaitarna, which is a sea land. This would be the land. What to do is just take the measurement at least 50. It's a land with natural slopes that you have seen. The first problem is, would you like me to bring it to one level or keep that it is natural?
If it's in keeping with your whole philosophy, Mother, it should be as natural as possible.
But I think to draw it into a comfortable way, when we plan it out, I thought that we should have a circular road. One circular road. If you all agree, a circular road on which a car can go or some vehicle can go. Inside should be all natural.
A perimeter road.
Okay. That would be better like a bunker. Now, the another thing is that big problem. The big problem is the discipline. Should we have the house modern or ethnic or traditional? Traditional would be rather elaborate, say Rajput style. That's traditional. Those are cities. And the ethnic would be like stone walls and roofs, sloping roofs. More hut-like.
Because the city is more hut-like.
More huts.
Mother, the rainfall in that area, whatever.
For the rainfall, that's the best. Because it is, see, all styles develop according to the problems that they have always. Ethnic means that. So from the rainfall point of view, you can have a stone. Stone is very easily available, cheaply, absolutely. But it's black.
Do they mortar the stone
So,
here?
I mean, I thought that we made the stone the crazy one. But if you can paint it into some light shades, any light shades with a red border on the polish, it would look very interesting for children, different shades. For children's sake, I think that color people people. So you people don't like paint very much. But for children, it would be good. Because children like to see many colors and nice colors. I think that they would like to have from the children's point. What
Paint in the joints between the stones.
drawing or paint, you see, actually how it is painted is that there's kind of a baby there. So they put the all the stones adhering to each other with that glue. But at the edge of it, they put a pointer. And on that pointer, they put a one color, white or red in one color. The third choice is like, I wish you had seen this university. How many of you have seen the university?
Making it a V shape.
Rahuri. That is done with the same style. But that's modern style. You have like there is a square. Then they say that people are very unhappy because they say this is known as a road. You have project protested about 5,000 years back in India that known as a road in India. They say at least make some sloping. But another thing we can do is to have them natural stones and can grow some green.
Vines and
You think that would be better?
very
Everything is
appropriate.
natural and of Mother Earth and things like that. It's
And
natural.
have the green creepers going
And the
over.
greenery
Yeah.
too. Coolness. Yes.
All green creepers falling from tops and sides.
Yeah. Flowers.
It can be, I mean, it grows very fast, it's raining so much.
Yes, that's a great one.
What we can do also combination of some colorful places and some like that.
Or also the stone would, the black stone would absorb the heat. If you paint it with a colour, It reflects the
That's
light
the
colour.
point. That's the point. But for that we are going to paint the roof. We are going to paint the roof with different colors. Not the stones, because stones are at an angle. But stones always keep the house extremely thick because the wall is so big as that.
Stores the
You see,
heat.
inside is the mud. It's sort of an insulator. And the mud is put inside and all the stones are stuck to that mud. And only from outside it is polished. As long as the top of it is properly covered, it goes on for days. You have seen my family, the thing there, maybe thousands of years old, saying done with the same style. And now it's falling off because nobody is there to look after, but thousands of years. So that is one thing you can decide there. So you have decided that we will have on the excellent sky. Somebody should write it down. What we
I've
will
written
do.
it down there.
Then we will have the cover, what you call some will be covered with colors and some will be covered with greenery.
What-
That will also reflect the heat.
It's the natural.
Naturally.
The tile, Mother, or another material for the roof?
The part,
The tile or another material?
no,
for-
what they do, it seems to be on the safe side. Instead of putting the wood and all that, it requires a lot of repairs. In that they suggested to me that we can put a thin cement thing and on top we can put these tiles so that the tiles are just adhere to that. They put some adhesive or maybe cement itself and they put the tiles, so it's a permanent. There's another thing that they do in the villages which is very interesting. They make a double story always. So the low portion is made covered with something like this kind. I mean not this kind because there's a tape here. But they put these, what you call them?
Rafters.
Rafters. And on the rafters they put a kind of another roof, which is straightforward.
A upholstery underneath.
No, real roof, like that. And on top, you see like a hut.
Very simple.
On top like a hut with the, what you call these, straw.
Thatch.
So on top it's a thatch and down below. So the thatch roof saves, gives you air, everything, you can sit up for meditation. It's an open stuff.
And also that thatch part cools down very quickly.
Yes, that's right, that's what they say. But the main thing will be the laying of this ceiling. Now that also, they have so many alternatives in this country because it's a country which full of alternatives. One is rafters. Second one is a cement. Third is they have a bricklaying thing called RBC. RBC, where a brick and it is cement. This is quite strong. And the fourth one is
Tiles.
tiles is on top. On this one, the one they use. This
Support.
fourth system is thing. They said that they put a kind of a L-shaped iron bars. L-shaped. What do you call them?
Angle.
Angle.
Steel
And
angle.
all the angles they put stone. That's very fast. And you can paint the angle with any color you want. I mean, it looks very nice. One more than
Cement and tiles. And I will be
Huh?
cement and tiles on top of it. It would be aesthetic in the first, and secondly, no, I think it would be good, but it would be quite a steady thing. I don't know if
steady. But you see, this will be quite steady also
Mhm.
because this will be double story.
Ah,
So the steadiness is with the first floor.
right.
And on top of it, you can have to give it a show, also a kind of another story. Like a hut on top of that.
So these stones are the angle lines are the floor of the
Yeah,
Ah,
the roof of the first floor.
that's right.
Oh,
First floor. And on top of that, you have this hut-like
Hut
structure.
construction.
So that the
Two
children,
stores. It would be two stores.
two stores.
Oh, that's very nice.
That is two stores.
That's very nice.
And the upper story would be open.
Beautiful.
For meditation.
Meditation, for sleeping in summertime, or playing some games or something, that sort of thing. You can make it into a garden like that on top.
Very good incident.
It can be very interesting. From architectural point of view. I mean, it's a very unique thing that they do in India. Because you don't have straw. Such thick straw. On top. Such thick. And it's so cheap you can't. I mean, you can grow your straw there just before building. By the time you come to the straw point, it's ready there. It's absolutely free.
In America, they're even using earth, Mother.
Huh?
They're even using earth in America over the roofs and building the houses down so that it acts as an insulator.
Yeah, earth we use quite a lot. But in this case, sideways you can use earth, and on top you can use this. See, and it's quite good. As long as it is covered nicely, comes out of the building. It saves the whole building from the top. That would be nice.
This is sort of an awning.
Huh?
Sort of an awning. Awning? It's an overhang.
Awning.
There's an awning in there.
Hangs over.
Like a
Overhang.
veranda.
Hanging.
Eave.
Hanging out.
Hanging.
Overhang.
It's hanging.
Eaves.
Hanging.
Also, Mother, openings can be placed to facilitate cooling. Vents in the floor and openings to
It will be
facilitate
completely open.
natural air
It will
movement.
be completely open on the sides.
Bottom
Only
floor
on top
also.
you'll have a cover.
It's like a double roof.
Yes, double.
Not the bottom.
Like a double
Not
roof.
the bottom.
No, not the
Not
Not
the
this.
top. And also the overhang of the roof stops the sun shining on the walls and heating
Yes.
the walls up.
Very much.
The ground floor would be extremely cool because there's a double insulation.
Absolutely.
The
That's
first floor would be ventilated.
That's what I was
It's open.
talking about.
in the evening, you can use the first floor. In the daytime, they can't. That's
And
fine.
there's a certain principle employed in Maharashtra for ventilating the ground floor. It's not just windows, but they have certain holes that strategically placed.
That's what I was
in the wall.
saying, yes. It's
Very
pa-
special
it's passive.
They make it at the height, so that the hot air goes out.
They put them high and low so that
Yeah.
hot air can evacuate out and cool air can come in.
And they are very, I mean, you see, they have been living with their atmosphere. They are living with their surroundings. They have not been sort of
Modified.
fighting it. They have been trying to, whatever
with the
they
elements.
adjust in that.
Integration.
So they have not just gone into, they have not shut off that create this, create that. Whatever is available, make out of that. They are satisfied. Well, I said, oh, I think this one.
We need a bit of ventilation.
You can open it. The children from there want to see me, and when they pulled the curtain, they were very unhappy to start doing slow. Kind of naughtiness is good. Alright, now this is regarding the house. Now regarding the land, the problem is, if we have a plan, a central place, and with all the roads shooting off, or should we have it as natural, whatever is available there?
Natural would be nicer.
I think so.
But it depends. If
Certain
there is a certain, if we have the idea to build a small village, there should be maybe one or two central points where we can gather. Maybe if we want to have a program, or if we want to be together, the whole village, and maybe some central huts or central.
Sort of
So
village
then
square.
what we can do,
something.
this circular road can be
Yes.
divided into 4 parts.
Portions, yes.
And at the apex,
At the break.
that's the village centre, or
Yes, and
village
the rest
square.
of it, the rest of it, it's kind of integration, you see, of the planning like that, and the rest of it, these triangles that are made,
Radiate
we
off.
can make them natural, and we can name them, which is nice,
Different quarters.
different folds.
You make
but not more.
Two crossroads like a swastika.
So far,
Two crossroads like a swastika.
like a cross.
crossroads, yes.
Oh.
Swastika.
Swastika, like so. Alright. So that's how you think. And in the center we should have the meeting halls.
Yes.
Yes.
Now this is such a big land, 42 acres of land. It's too big a land for any school whatsoever. That's what people are saying. It's 42 acres. You cannot imagine. But I mean, you can't walk. You have to do some sort of a vehicle. Go from one place to another. So, you see, what we can do is to have one school. We can do is to have one place, school for the children. One part, which was take half of it, which is, and half of it there can be many alternatives. Like we can have a school for adults who want to come here and learn certain crafts and arts. Do you think so? It's a good idea.
Yes.
Arts, crafts, music, this, that, yeah, which I had planned to do.
Would you like to centralize the schools and the living, for example, of the village, or would be, for
No,
example,
they will
completely
be
separated?
The schools are going to be providing actually complete maintenance of that place, and also what is the surplus, that is what we are going to use for children who are from a poorer place. So we will look after certain schools which will be under our guidance, where the children are to pay nothing at. So this school will subsidize those schools and will send them proper teachers. So this will spread to poorer schools. But of course, in this school, if we have some boy who is very talented, who has lots of talents and who has a special thing, we are going to from India. We cannot afford it. Schools won't be very expensive, but it would be much less than any public school in India. It would not be also a free school. Because this school, we have written down in that manifesto. I don't know, did you read out whatever actually better read it? That's a very good piece of literature your mother has read.
This is the aims and objectives of the Sahaja International School in Vaitarna. After visiting international schools like those in Switzerland and public schools like those in England, it becomes clear that their emphasis is on creating people who will be successful in the material sense and who will dominate through sharpness of intellect. But there is no interest in the quality of life of future generations or the betterment of those who will be in charge of human affairs. Today's problems come out of such brains which believe in material development alone. As a result of this, we have societies which are dominated by machines and money. At the time of Hitler it was a physical dominance. Now it's an economic dominance, which ruins the beauty of human dignity and sensitivity. Machines are for us. We are not for machines. So there should be a proper co-relationship between machine production and the human contribution. The arts and crafts must be there to build up a balanced personality in human beings. This balance is important to bring about the ascent to the higher life of beauty and benevolence. With these noble visions, we're endeavoring to build a school in a remote, beautiful land near the river Vaitarna, in the Tana district about 75 miles from Bombay. The triangular piece of land which has been bought is surrounded by hills and forests and is bounded by the Vaitarna river, another river and a brook. The need is felt all over the world that the highly sensitive children of every country, children who require special attention, should not be forced into a life of modern destruction through drugs and so on. In the ethnic atmosphere of this land, we would like to establish a place for them. To begin with, we have plans for 200 children, but if there is money available, this will be increased for 2,000. As it's an absolutely charitable trust, whatever profits accrue from this school will go to create further free schools in the villages of various countries for the education of poorer classes. At the moment, we have schools recognized by their governments running in Melbourne, Australia, and at Thane near Geneva in Switzerland, and at Dharamshala in Delhi in India. There are proposals for schools on the Isle of Wight, the United Kingdom, and Perth, Australia. Profits from these schools are already being used to help buy plots for further schools around the world. Apart from the land at Vaitarna, we already have bought land for free schools in a number of Indian villages. Students who have excellent talents, special talents, but who cannot pay will be able to attend these schools free. Moreover, the school will be staffed by teachers who will be selected from highly qualified, talented, compassionate visionaries. They will be very self-disciplined and compassionately sensitive people, so that the students can absorb from them higher values, practices and precepts. The children will be away from areas of modern experimentation where they can mature into the right systems, into self-respect and the respect for others. Thus they will achieve a balanced personality and become the leaders of the new age who must guide the destiny of humanity into a state of grace. One of the main objects will be to undertake a comparative study of all the religions to show that the essences of all the religions is the same. There is a oneness of thought amongst all the philosophers of ancient times who talked about self-realization, and to establish an integration of all the methods of achieving it. The aim will be to put the attention of the students towards the spiritual life of sharing, of tolerance, peaceful coexistence, and the mutual solving of problems. A deeper insight will be gained through a meditative approach. All religions will be respected. All ideologies will be studied with detachment, reaching a point of unity. Yes.
I mean, I'm really surprised at myself. You will be surprised I never studied English languages. Never.
We're not surprised, Mother.
You only created it.
Srimataji, we speak of the size of the land, and while we speak of that and the emphasis on the work of the artisan and the practical aspects of education, one wonders whether a portion of the land couldn't become a village in its own right. That is, a village which has living in it practical and practicing artisans from all of the ethnic areas that we want to expose our children to.
That is a big problem for us people. See, the trouble is that land is owned by us, alright, by Vaitarna. Now the people who this kind of a thing can do away from it, because I want to keep them out of all kinds of influence. If you have any other influence on that, say if you think that our ethnic groups, villagers are away from influences in ashram, they have some very funny influences out of previous times. It shows certainly. Like we have now 2 girls married from India. Surprisingly, they have become very fine. The reason is they were brought up with a complete discipline, this that, and suddenly they are exposed. Now they are disputing. So it's a risky game. I would say that we will be now establishing villages and this and that one by one, taking up a village as it is, and working on that. But basically we have to have a place which will generate money also. We have no way of generating money because Sahaja is a. So best thing would be that first we have this school. As a result of the profit of the school, we can start developing certain particular schools in the area. Through the schools, then we can give them basic educations and things by which they become citizens. It's a little gradual process. And they start developing those ideas and ideologies and work it out in their family. First of all, in India, people are just the opposite of Western people. They will never leave their houses, whatever. It might be a dilapidated house, if they are making money there. Nobody would come and settle down. Nobody. Even if you tell villagers to come, they'll go back to the village. They are that time. And if they come there, they'll just come for making money and go back. They are very attached to their own places. And so it's not going to work out. But to work it out, what we have to do, these boys, when they'll be trained well and educated well, then we have to have them as going round villages. They should give them, after say they have done this, say here, we might get them a senior Cambridge, or they might get a thing like a matriculation. So my idea is to give a 1 year's more probation sort of a thing for them before they enter into college life. To go and work in some village. So they go and stay in particular villages with select. And they get a certificate from them. Or we can also in our curriculum develop a thing like that, that these boys, say from the 7th class, when they are little grown up, from the 8th class, we can give them a curriculum that every Saturday or so they can go to village study. But that's much better than being a village. That's my own idea is that they should go. You see, the missionaries in India did that very much. When they were educating children, they used to send them to villages and teach them. Like I was in the medical college first of all, to begin with in a Christian medical college. And they said, you have to go, because I was getting a scholarship. You see, that I was getting a scholarship because I was a scholar. But still, those who are getting scholarships had to go and teach Christianity. So I said, nothing to do. If you take back your scholarship, I don't care. When this particular incident took place, you see, the girls, poor things, they were forced to go and reach the villages. And they were all stoned, came back bruised and hurt and all that, and their parents raised a big hue and cry about it, that why don't you do missionaries go and do it? Why do missionaries younger? So it all happened. But what I'm saying, this is how it worked out. So we can work it out in the neighboring villages, you can say that. Then when we have these other schools also, but let us concentrate on making a quality product of food here. So I would like to keep them out. What you can do if you want. My own opinion was to get people from foreign countries who would like to learn Indian craft, because we have lost, you see, in the West, people have lost their deftness from their fields. They can't do any work like that. So those people who want to learn can come and learn here Indian music, Indian arts. I mean, we have so many like these trinkets you can make. You can make things out of glass. So many things you can make. Everything that you have lost you can gain back here. So we can have a half school like that where you can learn this. I had taken out about 21 arts and crafts, which are very interesting and very helpful. And if you people agree, we can have half of the land donated for this kind of a school, because we call it a school, you see, because...
And it will be income generating.
Yeah, of course. Income generating.
Simple water.
Now, then how to allocate that income is a different one. How to use is a different one. How to use these students is a different one. But just now we should not have any other village being brought there. You see, you cannot control them. Supposing one of them wants to drink, you cannot say no. Then he'll say it's my freedom. On the contrary, if you bring people from outside, you can influence them, you can open it up, you can work it out. I have plans on that line also, but that will mature when the children are little big enough to go around and do this job. Because we will need teachers who have to be paid. Who have to be paid. They cannot be all free, you see. They have to be paid for. We have to pay for food, we have to enlarge things. So it has to be a place which will be income oriented, and that also will be quality one, where we have people produced of that.
But in this way, it can be very possible that at the same time there are people who would like to follow some courses and to generate money, and at the same time give some teaching. So that at the same time,
That's what it's going to compensate.
Now,
so now, as your point is, see, with that, the third thing that we show now, because now we have accepted that we have something like that. So the third point is with that is to have another school, not there, but far away for Indians, where they can learn things like, say, late work. Plumbing, we are hopelessly bad. Electrical things, we are hopelessly bad. We are very bad at things. Also, certain know-hows we have to get from you. Like we don't know how to make gums. Gums. That is gum. Glue. That is gum. You see, we have so much of gum in this country, but we don't know how to convert it into that. If we don't know. I mean, so many things we don't know. Like I'll tell you, you can help us a lot by teaching us these things, know-how from them. You see now, for example, molasses. They have been telling us that give us something, a know-how, how to convert this molasses into something sense.
And bagas.
Bagas also. So all these things can be developed, you see, in that area. We can find out how we can really do so many things for the villagers. So we have to have a training center for that there, so that these people can go and work out in the villages. Already. Now this food business is over than actually what already I have done. So this food business should grow. So if you agree, half of the land should be used for education of, you can also teach them Sanskrit, Indian languages, Indian music. We have one school only, and that now is on the border of Pakistan. That's Shanti. And Indian dancing, Indian music, Indian. There are so many things which are still retaining. Even printing, even so many things are there which we can really bring out, like weaving. Now, weaving is so common and we can easily do it. That may be a thing by which we can really create something more. Now you may say that we have so many artists in this country, we have so many things in this country. But what I have discussed with people is this, that nobody gets anything out of it because it's so much channelized that the whole money goes to bribery and corruption. So if you have some sort of a channel for getting all their things with us and all that, and we can sort of a shop it for them, then we can give them back as much as they produce. But this channelizing through this corrupt mechanism which is built in this country, you have to have another channel by which you directly help people.
Even Khadi is not without problems.
I mean, it's horrid thing that Khadi business is. Horrid. So corrupt, so corrupt. So very corrupt. I was on the Khadi board. I gave up because it's just, you can't work it out. It's such a sick country as far as corruption is concerned. So we can help the government, we can help everyone by that. And it can work out. It's a funny country. See? For example, in every way, they will give them money, so the government gives money, give them back. They'll never take the money out. It will never be done. How can you develop a country? Now, World Bank will give you money. World Bank will give you money for something. The money goes back to Switzerland. Not from Switzerland, it goes back to Switzerland. Not this side, it comes and goes back the other way. How will you develop this country? So you have to make a channel later on of honest good people who will do these jobs without eating the money. Here people don't eat food, they eat money. You ask anybody what's happening? Why Vaitarna land we have got? They want so much money. For what? They have to eat the money. In Marathi they say paise khane, means eating the money. That's why Nabis are so bad. So you see, we have to do all these things later on. You see, if you have to help the corruption of this country to go. Because otherwise it's such a holy land, such a good place. Because of corruption it's ruined. That's the only thing you have to remove if you really want to help this country and sort of express your gratitude for its saintliness. It's just to remove this corruption part. And that's quite simple, not difficult. If you can find people who are honest, who work it out properly, you can manage. But that's a later stage. Just now, for the time being, to get this land will spend 3 years. Because I wouldn't give any time. 2 years already spent.
It's a slow process.
The slow process because bribery and corruption. If I had agreed to give bribes to that, you see, let there be some place without bribery. So I
Century, mother. A century for bribery.
all right. Because a holy place, as you say, it has to be holy. Now that is one thing, that now we have a school and one school for this arts and crafts. Now for this school, how do we have to move? Should we get these 200 children immediately and start it in a big way, or should we start with small children, little few? It's not difficult to get 200, even with house.
From our experience in Melbourne, just starting, we just took a group of children from young age to old age and started.
That should be the best.
It's the best.
I think that should be the best. So the whole school should be started. So let us start with 2,000 children. So then we need your services, Ray, or somebody's services like that. You should guide us. What is needed for a school? In a school of 2,000, we will stay there, we eat there, live there, what's needed. We'll of course get some experienced teachers from here and start. And then we'll have to get the estimate how much money we have to spend per month on that and how we can do it. But to begin with, what we have to do in different countries, we have to advertise, saying that such and such school has been established. Even the photographer will send you the brochures. So when people apply for it, you can give them brochures and get this applications on a proper application form, and then sort them out and see if the children are deserving. The whole thing has to be worked out, and which I am going to work out seriously, sitting down, how we are going to provide them, what things are needed, everything into details in a proper school way, and what will be the different things we have to do. Now for, if you go like the Gandhiji's basic education system, in that the children are taught cooking, looking after cooking, while all elsewhere, apart from their education. So you see what they do, they used to do is to say, like cows were kept in the school areas, and they were milked in the school area, and that milk was used for the children to drink the milk and make the curd, make everything out of that milk. So we have to buy the cows, and the cows will stay there, we have to maintain them, and that will can be fresh and good for them. Normally people recommend cow's milk in India because not so fat, and it's very healthy, it's very good. So we have cows here. Now we must have Indian cows. Only thing, if we give them, say by drinking water to drink, we can give a lot of milk, and that would be a good way for them. So that's how we have our own cows and cattle. Then should we do some plowing also? Because such a big land.
To grow, yes, mother.
And then we grow vegetables and other things like that,
Some
sugarcane.
crops.
No.
Sugarcane we need not because that
But
occupies.
just simple.
Vegetables,
Vegetables,
What
flowers,
simple
flowers,
things you think? Vegetables.
flowers.
Vegetables.
For food.
Flowers.
The food supply for the
Huh?
food supply for the school
Rice?
can be, a lot of that can be grown.
Rice we can, rice.
And a little bit of food available for sale outside as well.
so that they can be completely autonomous.
I see. Jam
I
could be
don't
sold.
think we can have that. But it's a big problem shopping. Maybe autonomous. As long as you see because the children will be paying for them. Alright. And we'll be producing it ourselves. We can consume there only. So we don't have to. So we save money on that. You see? Instead of getting vegetables from outside, we have our own vegetables.
You complete the circle.
So it is all there. And the money that they pay for their food will be supplied from us. But to have a shop then will be rather. But later on, you see, when this, my own idea is always struggle in the sense more progressive, right? My own idea was like this, that when the school is successful, this another place that we are going to have for foreigners to come and learn arts and crafts can be Shravas. And we can start a university of it. So these students can go into that and pass from there, from those universities.
From deafness of the hands to deafness of the brain.
So that then when they go out, they do not have to go to some another university, say, maybe to All university.
Headaches.
So it's
Start
headache.
from children's school to top of the university, headaches, so we should have everything.
From bottom to top.
We need everything.
Because land is quite a lot. So for a university, we can have university as well as we can have this, what you call, professional education, or what you call that, one day. No, the one crafts one.
Vocational.
Vocational school as well as professional school. We could have. We can develop it like that, and that's how we can work it out. And it can fit into the curriculum of the universities. Now, as long as we do not take any help whatsoever from the government, we are not going to be bothered at all by the government, by income tax or by anything. So best is not to go to the government for anything. Again, 3 years we'll have to wait to get a sanction to buy a cow.
So the money which is now being collected is
We
for
have
that
collected,
purpose.
we have already collected money also. Now you have brought some money. This time, whatever money was given, all that is now piled up with the lieutenant trustee, which I can withdraw from that also. Plus, when we will need your money also will be drawn. So for that I have to establish a proper committee which has to deal with the Reserve Bank. When you bring your foreign exchange, you see, we have to really report it properly, bring it. I mean, I don't want to do anything legal and nonsensical because they'll stand on our heads. So that's what we get it and work it out. So this is it. So now the school part is the most important now. Now for Indian projects, we have, I found out a very good solution also. There are many missionaries who have left lots of properties there in Ghana. And their properties are wasted and just lying.
Like on the river near
Huh? Everywhere, in Rahuri.
Rahuri, Pune.
There's a school here, available for us free. You can run it very in Rahuri. They need one bus only, which I think I can ask somebody to donate us, and we'll work it out. So we can run a school like this here for the villagers here. Or else these big places which are left out by these missionaries. So as we are also charitable institute, they can sell it to us. We are also charitable people, so they can sell it to us. They don't know what to do with it. They cannot sell it to any other person. So we can get, I'm just trying to buy one big house here, left by some Englishman. So that's one. Like that, we try to buy as many as possible such lands here. In case, I mean, if you like it, you use it up and sell it off whenever you want to. But just now, I think the best way is to invest also money in the lands. So what my question is, in Pune, for example, there are lands available like that. Should we buy something there in the city? One in the city. And one I would like to buy in a little far off place near a river called Vithalwadi. You have been to that mandir, Vitthal Mandir?
Yes, it's where the manifestation of Vithala outside of Pune, yes.
Oh, yes.
Beautiful.
Yes, that's the lovely.
That there, you remember that?
A few people went 3 years ago.
Yes.
Vithala.
Or this-
And there was a temple.
Swayam.
We all like in the temple.
Yes, that's it, that's it.
And we sang songs to you.
There. And the river is flowing along.
Yes. An old man was doing his pilgrimage to Vithala temple in Bandapur, and he came from the north and he slept by the river at this manifestation.
You have seen.
And it's got black soil.
It has black soil which has got what you call titanium.
Sedimentary rather than volcanic.
Titanium.
Titanium.
I can't imagine something more beautiful than the place we have been.
It's more beautiful.
It is.
Because I tell you what is the
It is.
difference, see? Because it has lots of trees along.
Where?
It's just that.
You can sit under a tree and the water will come to you.
Let's buy it, Mother. Now!
J'ai Mataji, it's pure refinement. How do you say raffinement? exquisite, I don't know the name in English.
Really, Ganpati Pure was such a great thing.
Oh.
And this one is 1 acre free, the gentleman has given me. And he is so anxious to give me. He said, I was waiting for you to come mother sometime here, wanted to give you this and that. He was so begging of me, please at least have a look at it. Just, I said, I'll come, I'm coming with you. He thought I may not accept it. So he said, acceptable? I said, yes, I accept.
It's unbelievable.
Such generous people there, I tell you.
It's so beautiful.
The only problem is our lotus eater boots might like it too.
No, there they cannot. It's so hot. They have to work it. Really, it's quite a hot place. If you see, if you don't protect yourself, Ganpati Pure could be very dangerous. It's a very hot, straightforward sun. You have to be careful. You see, they were all surprised the way you were sitting in the sun. And they came and told me, informed me, please tell them not to sit in the sun. I said, let them burn themselves. Otherwise they'll never listen. I've told them and I've told them so many times, don't sit in the sun. This is not your sun, this is our sun, is a horrid one. Very sharp sun. Early in the morning is all right. Or in the evening. But daytime, about 2 o'clock also they were sitting in the sun. I was quite worried that the way they suffered is so.
It's only, it was absolutely, I think, Shumataji, a tremendous miracle how these people
They healed so quickly.
I mean, it was a blessing. Out of this, they could see your powers.
Doctor was surprised. I just put my hand and he started healing.
The blisters were disappearing under the cotton wool.
Now, it's all right. It will develop. Your skin has to develop and then it will be cleaned out.
No, but I remember you with the cotton wool with the evaporated water. It
Yes,
looked like
that one was repairing that way, yes. Just with the cotton wool it was repairing.
or
Yes,
just
that
like shaving cream under a razor, just disappearing.
Yes, yes, it was happening. Actually, it was happening. Yes, with the cooling effects. That's simple. Not so difficult. You all can do yourself. You all have lots of powers yourself. But you must first of all decrease it. That's what you do. Sit in the sun itself was very stupid. What is the need? I mean, you have so much sun all over. You don't need any sun. If you never sit in the sun, you won't find any Indian sitting there in the sun. It's true.
We also have too much sun inside us too.
Huh?
We have too much sun inside us already.
Already, because of the
Yes.
So they would even listen. I told one of these not to stay in the sun because he's dangerous. He was already wet, but he would not listen.
So it's all right, let them learn a lesson. And now I think you should have taken out some pictures. Enlarge them. Go to sun.
Some of these.
No, but it's for the next group when it will come. I'm only worried of that on Ganpati Pure. I want to have another session next year, only in Ganpati Pure, not in Godi. Because that suits all the Maharashtrians also to come down, everybody it suits. Because it has a direct connection by plane also, those who want to come from Bombay. So there's no problem on that. But the only problem that exists in there is the sun. Godi sun is not so hard.
Mother, when you're speaking of Ganpati Pure, may I request humbly that we could decide on date for next week's tour now amongst ourselves.
So write it down, that's in another category. So now, from
Yeah,
this,
we feel
from the
that
school, we go now to the industrial school or whatever you may call it, vocational school. Then we have done also the idea of university. So finish at that point. And somebody has to give me a full idea what is needed for the school, what is to be done, what do you expect the school to have, all these things must come from.
At what age should the people be sent from?
All age. Now we have a full blasted 2000.
All the range.
Thank you, all ages.
So first of all you have to advertise, and you have to advertise and say that after 2 years we'll be starting this school. Because it will take at least 2 years to start.
So in 2 years' time, this will become reality.
Yeah.
Because it's exactly the time that our children will be able
To come down.
to get their first
You
education.
start it from the age of 8 years or 7 years.
7 is auspicious.
Yes. Actually here the school starts from 6 years. 6 years onwards. And then we have to think as to during summertime is quite big here, say Summertime starts May, June, July, August. 4 months we can't have schools. And the children can go back home. Or if the parents come down here, they can come down here, take them to some hill stations.
Heaven, that is very heaven. We are already in
Kashmir,
heaven.
already where
Oh,
Take them to the hill station.
to some hill station. So that you can spend your time with your children here. And then you not go all the way back there if they would want to, or if they come on. I mean, we can have that arrangement.
Or at Sangam, ultimately.
Huh?
Ultimately, even at Sangam, where we establish our own.
The Sangha would be a different thing altogether. That's a different thing altogether. We have to separate it. And actually, what is Sangam's idea is? I'll tell you now. So we come to that point. So now the school is practically we have covered. Alright? Now for the school, you have to find out how you will advertise and how you will contribute for the construction. You all give your idea. What you want to have, what the children are required, what the smaller children want. I mean, whatever your ideas are, learn put them together and we work so that you give your contribution. काय पाहिजे तुम्हाला?
That means all the children are taught in English before in Europe.
of course. So Mataji, one thing is extremely important what Michel said, that compulsory that the children should be brought up in English. This is
French,
extremely
Spanish,
That they will
Italian.
come. Here in the curriculum. It is in the curriculum you have to have English. One language has to be English, one language has to be Marathi. And these 3 languages you have to learn in any case from your child. Only if they join at the age of say 14 or so, 14, then they can learn only 2 languages. Okay. But if they join from childhood, they have to learn these 3 languages. And in India, they will pick it up. Children pick up very fast.
Yes.
Pick up very fast.
But we have to pick it up too, because otherwise we can't speak to our children in Marathi, they will come.
We have to run some courses
They will
in
teach
Western
Marathi.
countries.
We'll have to have a translator for our own children.
Like
Little Data speaks better Hindi now than English.
huh?
Data speaks better English, better Hindi.
And then they pick up very fast. Like this Ignatius' son. He's very smart. So we went to his house and he was talking about somebody, a relation of his. He says, Mataji, you know, he's a Gardava. In Sanskrit, a donkey called as Gardava. Since he's a Gardava. And she told me he goes to a school where the Sanskrit is taught. Why is that boy calling somebody Gardava? And the fellow was sitting in India. He didn't understand what Gardava.
This is the best.
Huh?
This is the best. He didn't understand.
The what?
It is the best that he didn't understand even.
No, that's why he said it in Sanskrit. He didn't know which language to use because if you say in English or in Marathi, Hindi, he would know. So he said he's a Gardava. He Sanskrit language, but he knew I would understand it. Very clever. Alright. So this is about the school we have spent time now. The other projects that I told you, we are trying to get lands and things now where we can have schools, we can have all these things again which we did or done for people. Now this agricultural thing, right? This is another aspect of everybody's life, is the agriculture, which we have already got 25 acres of land we have, and I'm trying to get about altogether 75 acres.
The whole bend of the river.
But as soon as we got the land, a canal has come. So we'll have continuous flow of water. No problem. And there's about 50 acres of land which is on the river side, where we can grow things like watermelon and shikaras.
It's literally on the bed of the river.
Yes, that's what. That will be done. So we'll have quite a big farm there. Lots of
I'm
people.
so glad the water's come from the irrigation.
Yes, water
And
has stopped.
that's your miracle, Mother, because this one engineer was so enamored of you that he said, I'm going to do everything possible to get the channel to pass by your land.
Yeah. Actually, he's done it.
He diverted the
And
channel.
not only, but it is brought in a big way because it has a bridge to bring it down.
Takes it
On
across.
top.
We'll see this at Sangha when we go to this tour.
Yes,
we do that?
That's it.
Yes.
Yes, yes. This is in just to I made to go to Sangha. Because there is Neeladivan is there. The sand is very good. It's my name, Neeladivan. And the sand is very good. I mean, you can call the clay. And you can use that also. It's for a bath and all that. But if you want, you can also go to Bhima, which is there. But in Bhima, the only problem is some portions are extremely deep and I'm rather worried. You have to be rather careful.
We'll just go to the crossing, Mother.
Yes, it's quite close. Yes, whichever you decide. Now, so this can be a big, huge thing. I mean, 50 plus 75 would be a huge big area. So many acres of land. And to begin with, on this land, I'm thinking of putting some sugar cane before I take it water, which will give us more money also. And then we can have investment on the rest of the thing. So for 2 years, we don't have to bother much because getting a land is a problem. It might take 1 year more. By the time that is there, this can be sold out and we can do something else. For that, I've already asked him to find out how much it will cost to put up a farm on 25 acres of land of this sugar. But then we have now, because the Nira land now, this one is given to us by government, we cannot use it for any other purpose, but just for agriculture. But the side land which I will be using will be a land which can be used for residential purposes. And also we can use that for for our experimental purposes. For all these things we can use that, and so we can concentrate on agriculture in that way. So we can experiment, because in no country you can do that. In no country you can experiment. Here you can experiment onto anything, vibrated water, anything that you want to do, and you can record it, establish it, the whole thing can be published and we can work it out. And our government will be helpful in that. They are very helpful people, government. Very helpful. See, also I would say that BEST though charges quite a lot of money, but to us it did not charge so much. It gives us a concession in a way. I mean, of course, their rates are there, they have to pay because the petrol is so expensive. Diesel is so expensive. So they have to take that much money. Whatever they take it, I mean, that way they have been helpful. Now in TDC, we are not allowed to make more than 2 people stay in one pot. There were sometimes 4, 5, 6 things. They can help, not that they understand. There's always, everybody has a dirty fear of God and of safety.
Thank heavens, man.
There is some place, some country like that, really.
As you said, when we were in Spain, Mataji, you were talking about this horrible kid from Colombia.
Tourism agro-industries. Agro-industries.
Oh yes, yes.
Related to agriculture, to the villages.
Agricultural college. You could have a sort of an agricultural college.
College, in a way. But it should be more sort of pragmatic in the sense that we should have solar energy development there. So you see from Pune, you can see. From Pune, Alright? So this is the place in the sun.
Now 2 o'clock morning.
Here you are. This is the river Nita. It's about here. And here is the sun. This is where the Bhima and I will be going to Akrus and to this place. Alright? So this is the place.
This is agricultural resort. Yes.
Now from there.
Just there, the
Huh?
land. The land is just there.
Yes, land is here. You This is our. Can you believe he's about 54 years of age?
He's a wonderful
Young
man,
looking,
huh?
huh?
He looks so young. He looks so young. He'll be very happy.
He's asked me again and again, please, when are you going to let the foreigners come?
So if you inform him, he'll be so very happy.
I'll be
He'll give you a nice fish meat, and then from there you go to one. Very interesting thing.
And it's a
Again,
beautiful coconut palm
this
line.
portion, this whole portion is Konkan. See? This is called as Konkan. Because there's a range of Sahyadri. This flows like this Sahyadri. This is the big mountain of Sahyadri, ranges of Sahyadri. And this side is the Konkan, where you have got Ganpatipure, you have got Murur, you have got Ratnagiri, you have got Vijayadurga, all these. Then you go down below is the Goa. Goa is here. We never went up to that. There's no need.
Although they could take lunch at Alibag if we made a
Murur
very
is a
early
wonderful
start.
place. Janjira Murur beach. This is the one we were going to buy, first of all. Yeah, wonderful place if you can see on the way. I don't know.
Well, they're on the journey up from Wai. They could stop for lunch if they really made fast time at Alibag. We left at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, that's all right. You can stop definitely.
Late lunch, 2
Have
o'clock.
lunch there and you sleep there because it's very nice to sleep there.
We could leave really
Yeah.
early.
And then next evening you can sleep there.
Yes,
So
I
in
do.
any case you have time.
Yeah.
You tell him he will do it.
Oh yes, I'll speak to the puja.
So this is how you are going to give a real bandhan, you see. You come like this, now Pune, now you are going to go like that, and come back like that, and go back to Kolkata. Real bandhan. Only from here to Aklus is the rather hazardous.
If we go direct, it's an interesting route through the sugar cane.
After puja, if you go, you can reach there in the evening. I made all arrangements for
At the puja.
at least. So Maharashtra's map is on the map of the universe now. You can see that here. Nobody sees it.
Srimataji, each leader then had one or two small points to raise.
So now this is one. This is. So now what do we do in Ganpatipure? Is the point. I want to know only that much.
For next
When
year,
I'm buying lands after lands like mad. Now what should we do at
You,
Ganpatipure?
what project you do?
What project?
Now let's get out of
Srimataji, how close is this land to the coast?
Land to the
To the coast, to the seaside itself? Oh,
On the sea.
on the
it
sea,
is right on the beach.
seashore. And there's a national highway going through, very close. Just close to the national highway, on the other side is a hill. He said that you better have it on the hill to begin with because it's a sweet water. But we can have it on the seashore also.
So Mataji, ashram for SahajaYogis of the world. The gathering point for all the SahajaYogis of the world. Is
What?
But it should be more of the kind which is collective accommodation,
Yes.
so that it can accommodate large groups at seminar time.
That we'll have. But apart from that seminar, what should be the activity there?
What about the fishing project, man?
Huh?
What about the fishing project?
Good idea. Fishing, coconuts.
And also the fruits of the sea at a wider level. You know, they're investigating more into use of these
Fishing.
underground.
Huh?
Under the sea.
Fishing is the
Doing the same job of agriculture project
Hmm.
with the.
You see, there's a jetty also there. There's a jetty also for your ships to come in, a small little. We can have a fishing boat or something.
But Mother, there's a whole
Study
area.
of
yeah,
marine biology, Mother.
marine biology is a big area ahead of us where we can also
Marine biology.
Study grandchild.
Marine biology.
because the fruits of the sea are not just fish anymore. It's all the minerals and all the elements.
Oh,
that
but
are-
there are lots of minerals there.
The seaweed has its own qualities.
They are seaweed. So now that's one we can have. Now, there's one more project which I would like to have. We were thinking of having doctors and medical things on the SahajaYoga lines. So, which part of Maharashtra is best?
About Pune.
Pune. Pune would be the best. In Pune? Nearer Pune, where I will be also there.
And there's a lot of hospitals in Pune, I think.
Yeah, a lot of hospitals. You can take lots of advantage of that. And I've cured at least 25 people who are quite rich.
They can help build a new hospital.
Yes.
Yeah. So if being in Pune, near Pune, or should we do it near Dehu Road, where Tukarama was?
I'm thinking Talagon.
Huh?
That would be really nice.
Malwadi,
Malwadi Talga.
next to the Indrayani.
Then we'd have all the advantages of Pune just there.
Then
Yes,
people
because the
decide-
vibrations are there, everything.
Then people also have to come. It's not just like a regular hospital. They have to make an effort to
Effort to come in. So we'll have a natural sort of a hospital with a SahajaYoga hospital.
That's such an environment that, and the people are so beautiful.
Really? Next to the river. I'll have to go and see. They're willing to give us land there.
I thought when we were working on that little boy there, it was just been such a natural environment.
Now, this Vashi, we have bought a lot of land there, 1 acre, and they're willing to give us 1 more acre now, I don't know. In this land of 1 acre, I had a plan to make printing, processing, typesetting, and all our literature to be done in that area. What do you say?
You've got this man living in Washi too.
Vashi, this one Suraukar. But this Arodi fellow, the one, he is willing to join. So he can do all our work there. Bye. घेतलं ना, घेतलं. So if you agree, that's the place we have to develop, and we have to find out if you have to buy some sort of a printing machine or something, we have to import it. Proper printing machine. And like his is, Paul's is very good, we can print into any language.
Oh, that's in fact,
It's not the machines, it's the program.
that's a highly sophisticated programming.
Not the machine set itself.
So that's what somebody has to work it out. Some committee should be formed. So the only best way would be now to have committees for all different types of activities that we want to have and work it out on those committees. Last but not the least is the marriage system. In the marriage system, it's done systematically, no doubt these days, but it's nothing written down. Methods, not just explained, translated. So we can say the SahajaYoga living rituals, whatever are they, mantras, this, that. So somebody has to take it up seriously and do this job of writing the different things that we do. What is this we are doing? What does this mean? Taking left to the right, right to the left, this, that, all these things of the rituals part. And the marriages. What do we do in the marriage? Many people don't know what we are doing. They just get married. So that should not be so. They should know what it means, what it is. Let us have one center like that where all this is to be done. And I think best is Bombay. Bombay should be, people should be done. Now, another is to develop a center of Sahaja architecture. And I think the best place for that would be Delhi. What do you say?
Yes, ma'am. That's the most,
Sahaja.
the most developed. The most developed architecturally.
That's
The most developed architecturally, and it has
You see, it has more integration of all the architectural sides. I mean, you get the West. Otherwise, I would say Baroda is another place. It's very hot place and all that. We
Delhi
have a
seems
good
to-
architectural college and all that. But West is some place we have to have for architecture, and I think Delhi is the best. But all the architects there are influenced by the Western style. Like I went to a clerk's house, imagine, they are not practical. Went to a clerk's house, a flat, and he has windows so little as that. So I couldn't understand in India to have such little windows. I mean, it doesn't help at all. So he said this is meant for air-conditioned houses. Only in India, even a minister cannot have an air-conditioned house. It's so expensive. How can a clerk going to have an air-conditioned house? So that's it. They are
Impractical.
schools are right.
Style
They have
conscious.
the architecture not of creativity, but and they don't understand the surroundings, what sort of surroundings there are, what sort of thing is needed, what is the need of a person, for whom it is built. It's just done in a very conditioned manner.
Style.
So he has to study Sahaja architecture from the angle that the kind of people are living. For that we must find out the history of agriculture of every place. Why do they make houses? I mean, I will be surprised the people in India who are in the villages are very unhappy with this kind of house. The tin on top or a modern house with the tiles and modern things, they don't like. They like a hut. They are much more comfortable in a hut which is being cleaned with that cow dung. It's very clean. They are not happy in a modern house. Very unhappy. They can't bear it. They don't feel comfortable. Such a hot place, then if the hut system is the best, then we have to make proper huts. How to make good huts for them and how to create huts. Now like a project they started in Madras, to make a hotel of huts and for modern people, visitors and what you call VIP, tourists and all. And one hut would cost much more than any big bungalow in concrete. Something after the when he told me, I was so surprised the price of the hut. I said, who is going to pay for it? He said, these VIPs like to stay, it's just for their fondness to stay. It's bad. So this is what one has to study. Sort of we can say that we can study the styles which are grown. We have to also study the fruits that are grown up in a particular way. What advantage, I mean the fruit part. The fruits which are used for, I mean their food styles, what do they make, how many things. Because India is a place where such variety. Every day you find something new. Today she has made something, I said, what is this? This is made out of pulses. Something made out of rice, something made out of this, that. So many varieties. Because every woman creates something. And its cooking is done in the household. So we have so many varieties. So that, you see, the cooking style and the food style, for that we have to have one place.
What's life there? Cooking.
So what is the place? It is Hyderabad. So then we have that.
What about
Nagpur.
what about your birthplace? That 7 acres that is there on the bend of the river where you used to play as a child, which we
Well,
can
that's
buy.
good, but you see, for this kind of a product, you have to be in some central place. You can have it in Nagpur.
Yes, or Nagpur.
Nagpur, we have got this generous man there that helps us. Nagpur we can develop, but in that place, that's my birthplace. Now, if you are interested in that birthplace,
There's a beautiful 7 acres in the bend of a river near to Mother's, the
That
house where she
belonged
was
to my
born.
uncle.
And she played there as a little child. It's only 1 lakh of rupees, which means 100,000 rupees, $10,000 buy the land, and Baba Mama says it's still available. And I think we should buy it as a project for some purpose, and Mother will decide what, but it's so cheap, it's so beautiful. It's been...
That I'll buy this time for it. I have to. I'll buy both the places, my birthplace as well as. This time I'll definitely buy. I will see to it this year, it should be done before it is December. These two places have to be done. Don't write it down because you have to give me the gist, what I have to do also.
Somebody should transcribe this thing.
But for food, I think Nagpur is the best.
Yes, Nabi.
Central. See? Can you imagine? We call this Nagpur, you get these oranges, means Santra. Santra comes from the center. Center. Marathi is Kendra. You see, because C can be pronounced as K or as cat. K or as K. So we call it Santra. अहो आता झालं फुटार बोलून जायला थोडंसं द्या थोडं development, different types of food. Now for health, which one have you chosen?
Health, we said medical center, Pune.
Or Telangana, whichever you choose.
Sorry, Malwad. Because we have to develop natural things. Natural things.
It should be a little away from Pune. A little away.
More natural, a little away. That's a much better thing. Because myself, I know so many natural things myself. Apart from that, we can find out so many new things. Like this oil, can remove, maybe, if you work it out properly, can remove baldness.
Can remove baldness.
But I have to work it out a little bit more. I got it.
Overcome
I'm sure it can.
get hair.
What was that?
No, it's not coconut. Yeah, market. There's something called very cooling thing. The temperature seems to be very low. Maybe coconut will show me. As soon as my food starts moving. Anyway. No, just tell it down.